listen, never in my life associated the word boring with baseball.
We know what's up.
Me? Yeah. Famous? Yeah.
And I'm like giddy over there smiling like, we're about to win this shit.
Did everyone give you crap? Give me a good host story.
I'm not picking it up.
We both love the game.
We talk about it every day.
Getting on baseball.
Having some popcorn, you're fooling around your phone.
I'd have to wait in line for 3 hours.
Hang on, because it's about to be a wild ride.
Another episode of Pitch and Moan. I am your host, Courtney Fennicum, and I am here with Adrian Hauser live in Houston, Texas. Adrian, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Doing well. So here in balmy Chicago, while you're in balmy Houston, we're kind of sharing the weather, it seems, today.
Oh, yeah. It's a little rainy here, so a good thing to have a roof here so we can get this game in.
That's what we need, right? That's what we need, especially considering the fact that the White Sox are actually playing very, very well right now. We have some good momentum going on, and I really actually believe the Sox signing you sort of started this, trajectory of them playing well. And I do know that you have a connection with a White Sox pitcher, Davis Martin, who is a friend of the program. He's been on the show. You worked out with him in the offseason. What did you see there when you guys worked out together, tweaking on your mechanics? What have you seen there working with him that you've now taken into your season with the Sox?
So we got together. We both live in the Broken Arrow area. So we both met a couple of years back in the off season, and we both actually have buddies that work at Pitching Works in Edmond, Oklahoma. And we both decided that this off season we were going to go down there and get with them and work with them. And those guys are great. It was almost immediately a couple pitches in the first day I was there. They were able to identify some things, and we're able to work on that. And so with Davis and I both being able to go down there, and we were working out together back home because it's about an hour and a half from where we both live. And so we were able to play catch with each other and look at things and kind of identify some things that we both know that we were working on down Edmond. And so, being able to have that there with each other, we were able to really, have a good off season. And I think we both put ourselves in great spots coming into the spring training.
Do you feel like when you've seen Davis Martin on the mound and you've been watching him, do you notice some certain things that's something that we both found out together in Oklahoma? I mean, is there stuff that you've seen with his own pitching mechanics that that you guys have worked on together?
Oh yeah, a little bit. He does a little gets a little preset and gets a little turned with his hips and stuff early on, the way he kind of sets up. And that was one thing that he was working on the off season, just seeing how it felt, and it actually helped increase his velo a little bit and got a little bit sturdier under him. So obviously we pitch a little bit different, but I've been able to see that, and it's been a lot of fun to be able to see him kind of hone that in and get it going, and his stuff's been playing really well so far.
And obviously so has yours. Is there something that really stood out to you in Oklahoma that you have taken on when you've been pitching for the Sox in these last few starts?
Oh, yeah. Like I said, there was a few things in mechanics, one being just getting my backside a lot better. I was getting a little quad dominant into my knee, and so I wasn't really getting any drive out of that. And so once we were able to identify that, we kind of from there were able to piece some other things together and was able to get a little bit more balance and a little bit more strength into the mechanics, and was able to drive down the mound really well. And so those have just been a few key points that I've been trying to hammer down and make sure that I'm staying on top of. And it's been helping out with pitches and just feeling better and all throughout. So it's been great.
So Davis Martin, I talked to him during spring training. And one thing that we talked about, he's a Texas boy, he's a Southern boy, but he's a big Eagles fan. Has he, I'm sure you know this, right? Now I got to ask you, are you a Cowboys fan? I know you're an Oklahoma guy. Are you a Cowboys fan?
No, I am a Chiefs fan. So this makes it even better. Yeah.
Well, you dropped down a little bit in my world, Adrian, but that's okay. I won't hold that against you. So Eagles Chiefs was the Super Bowl, right? Now, did you guys have any fun conversations, any bets going, any fun little playful stuff going on?
Well, I don't think we didn't make any bets, but we were definitely talking a little trash to each other when we were working out and seeing how it was going to line up. So it was pretty fun. But there was a couple days ago he wore their little tush push shirt. He's got a little tush push shirt that he wore, and so I was like, okay, very nice, very nice.
So he's still rubbing it in a little bit.
Oh, a little bit. He'll let me know. He's been letting me know every now and then.
I mean, I think it's very funny that both you guys are kind of born in that area that where you'd be Cowboys fans, and you're like, no, I want nothing to do with America's team.
Yeah, no. My dad, since I was a little kid, been a Chiefs fan, and so that's what I just grew up with, and been a Chiefs fan since then.
Well, you've been on a hell of a roll. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun these last few years. The Patrick Mahomes is doing a lot of great things, so it's fun to watch.
Oh, I believe it. So you actually took a risk this season. You exercised your opt-out, and when you did, you didn't have a team in the beginning.
Yeah.
So when this happened, what made you take this risk on yourself to hopefully be like, okay, this is going to work out eventually? What made you take that risk?
Just all the work that I put in the off season, and then just how I was feeling and how I'd been throwing the ball as of late, leading up to that opt-out date. After talking to my agent and everything, and we just felt like we were in a good spot to possibly have a better opportunity somewhere, or an opportunity of the same, but obviously a quicker path to the big leagues. And we felt like it was just a good time to take that, and it ended up working out. It ended up coming here, and it's been awesome.
So where were you when you got the news that the White Sox were signing you?
So when I opted out, I basically packed up and drove home from Round Rock, and that was like the middle of the day. It was real quick. I got a call from my agent and said, hey, we may have a couple major league offers, and I was like, oh, okay, so we're out of here. So I packed up and headed home, and I think it was probably about an hour or 2 hours into my drive that he called back and said that it was going to be the White Sox, and we're like, all right, let's get it rocking and rolling, and just hit the ground running from then.
So you are a veteran presence in a very young clubhouse, a clubhouse that continues to get a little bit younger as these call-ups have happened in the last week or so. What have you seen so far as someone that's been around the big leagues for a little bit that is encouraging about this White Sox team?
I mean, these guys are coming in every day ready to work. They're prepared. They're knowledgeable. They're coming in, and they're not being scared of the moment. I feel like, example of Grant last night coming in a 3-run ball game, high pressure situation, leverage inning, and it's his debut throwing in front of probably the most people he's thrown in front of a long time since his college days, and he comes out there and has a 1-2-3 inning. I think that just shows a lot, and just the fight in these guys. This whole team, this late in the games. I know they've been telling me last year it felt like they would get to a certain point and it felt like the game was just over, and now it's like, our last game against Kansas City, we're down like 5-6 runs in the 9th inning, and we're putting ourselves right there in the opportunity to have a chance to win that ball game. And so that seeing that stuff, and how these guys are preparing every day and coming in ready to work, it's awesome to see, like at such a young age, and just being in the league is the first time. So the future's bright for these guys.
And one thing that I have noticed, and that I've heard a lot of Sox fans talking about, is that there's a different energy on this team right now. There's a different vibe. You have guys such as yourself. You get out of a jam, you're pumping your fist, you're clapping. Like that, to me, makes a big difference just in the optics of the game. So that is one thing that has been refreshing from last year, just from a fan's perspective, that you guys really seem to bond together and want to win. And I think that's great. And it's been showing on in the results lately. So that's been huge.
Yeah. The vibes have been great here ever since the first day I stepped into the clubhouse. Everything's been great. The vibes have been high. I think I've said it before. I don't think the record shows how good this team really is, and so I think these guys are believing in themselves more and more each day. Just they're playing close games against really good teams. They're beating really good teams, and we're hanging in there. So I think stacking those on top of each other is just going to do these guys more good. And so the vibes have been good every day. Everybody's coming in ready to work, ready to play. So it's fun to be around.
So you were in the Milwaukee Brewers system for a while. You pitched for them for a while. You worked with Walker McKinven out there, correct?
Yes.
What has been your impressions of him now that he is the bench coach for the White Sox?
He's same old Walk. He's doing his thing. He's staying incognito for the most part, but he's on top of everything. You can go up to him and ask him a question. He'll probably know the answer, and probably even more so. He can probably tell you anything and everything about the team that we're playing, a week from now. Like he's he's very intuitive. He's very well prepared, and he's on top of everything. And so, seeing him get that opportunity to be a bench coach, it's awesome to see. So he's hitting the ground running, I feel like, and I think he's going to do really well here.
Yeah, I agree. And, Will Venable, the combination of Will and Walker, they seem like they're in tune together, which has also been great to see. And maybe not something that we have been used to in years past. So that's been awesome. One thing that I did notice in one of your last starts, you pitched for the Mets last year. You walked into Citi Field, obviously a very hyped Mets team this year with Juan Soto and all the money that they've spent. And you pitched 6 scoreless innings, giving up 3 hits, 6 strikeouts. How did that make you feel coming back and pitching against your old team? And
it was fun. It was fun. It was very nice to go out there and kind of prove to them what I could do. It wasn't obviously able to get to that point last year. Obviously, was trying to get there and not be a disappointment like I was, but it was a good feeling, and I knew it was going to be fun going in there competing against those guys and getting to know those guys really well last year. So I was just taking it one pitch at a time and just trying to have the most fun as I could.
And obviously the results paid off. One thing that I do, it's not always pleasant to talk about, but you did mention this in your last start that you're already laughing because you know exactly what I'm going to talk about here. Yeah. It's unpleasant, right? It's unpleasant, but you do have a little bit of a reputation for getting sick on the mound, right? I mean, this has happened now, I believe, twice and almost 3 times.
Yeah, twice. 18. Once in 18 was the first time. I think that was on Father's Day.
Oh, God.
And 19 again. I think that was maybe in July or August against the Rangers.
No, I have to ask. I mean, do we just have a sensitive stomach? I mean, what is going on where you just kind of
No, so the first one was a combination of being a little hectic, getting a midnight call saying you're getting called up, so having to be up late packing all that. Had to get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning to go to the airport and get there. Was rushing around so much, didn't get to eat breakfast. It was a day game, so I got there like 30 minutes before game time. So I tried to eat a little bit of his food as much as I could. Was trying to stay hydrated. Played a little catch in the bullpen right before the game and pitched in the game, and it was like one of the hottest days in Milwaukee that year. And just all the combination of that, after getting out on the mound, just hit me, and it all came up. And I didn't feel sick or anything. I just had to get it up, and after that, I was good.
I mean, so then fast forward to what happened last Saturday. You were pitching, and I was at this game, and I could see you were getting a little unsettled on the mound, and I'm thinking, is this going to be it? Are we going to actually are we going to see a replay of this? And I just got to tell you, I want your thoughts on this, because the Southside Chicago White Sox fans might embrace if we come out with T-shirts for you, like Puke and Rally. What do you think?
Hey, I'm all for it. I had a buddy back home in Oklahoma, and another buddy who pitched for the Angels at the time, and he threw up on the mound, and they made an Oklahoma Hurler shirts. So, I mean, I'm all for it.
See, I'm thinking this is something we can embrace, and the fact that you're all for it, I love this. I love this.
Yeah, we're good with it. Let's go.
I don't know if you've ever seen Any Given Sunday, but if you have, Willie Beeman.
Willie Beeman, yeah.
You can be like the White Sox, Willie Beeman.
There we go. That'll be perfect.
So, it really would. It really would. So one more question for you. I do appreciate your time. This is sort of a basic question about the goals for the rest of your 2025 season. What are our main goals?
Main goals, I mean, number one, stay healthy. I mean, that's always main goal coming into each and every year. And then, I think after that is just really honing in everything that I've been working on this off season and just fine tuning that. And, think I'm in a really good spot. And if I can just hone that in and keep rolling with that, I think I'll put myself in a good spot at the end of the year. And, after that, we'll see what happens. And, just trying to have fun, taking each day as it comes, and, just focusing on the day that we're in and taking it as it goes.
Well, I can tell you that the White Sox fans have definitely embraced you early on here. So keep doing what you're doing, and I will get going on those Puke and Rally shirts. I think they'll be bestsellers on the South Side.
Perfect. I'm a 2XL, so I'll take one.
We are sending them your way, no doubt. I appreciate your time, Adrian, and good luck the rest of the year.
Thanks for having me on. Thank you.
Thank you.